Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Ismail Path or hope you are everyone well. I am also well by gains of Almighty Allah. So basically it is the third class of our Windows Server series. In this class we learn about the how to connect your server with the client PC. We configure the DNS server, the Dhcp server, and we can create some Active Directory, users and computers, features, and organization unit. Many more we talk about in this class. So no further delay, let's move on the video. So after the intro, now at first we open our virtual machine. So I key open my virtual machine. Okay, here you can see that my virtual machine here. So I press power on for the open it and I view it the full screen. So I try for full screen view. So guys, my computer takes some time for studying. So please give your computer for studying and loading your server. Okay. So it is my server opening interface. So it is still loading. So I do not nothing, just wait. Okay. So after I replace it and open the server manager. My server manager is ready. Viewers, in dear learners and viewers, in our last class we can see the how to install the new features and new role in Windows Server. So in this class at first we see the how to uninstall or remove a features in your server. So guys, stay with us and keep learning. My server is still loading, so I waiting some time for full load my server. I go at first I go to the local server for all information. Okay, my everything is here. My server computer name is on ISF server. My domain name is isf.com. My Windows firewall is off. My IP is here. So now everything okay. So at first we can see the how to remove your pictures. So at first we go to the manage. Okay, so and you go, then we select the remove the roles and features. So okay, it is the beginning page. Before you begin this widget helps to you remove roles and roles service and features. Okay, we start the roles and feature widget. We at first we paste on the next, then select a server. Here I am only one server, so I select it and paste next. Okay, now I show which role I like to uninstall. So at first I uninstall for learning purpose DNS and DHCP server. Okay, for running purpose I install it for you and I show how to configure it. Okay, in this class. So at first I press on remove. For removing it is start removing DHCP and DNS server, remote control server tools and roles administration tools. Everything removing now. It is starting removing. So viewers, please waiting some time for remove the features. Here basically the remove the server. If you configure it by when you remove your feature, it is fine or permanently remove from your server your configuration and everything. So be careful, remove your features if you is necessary, then you remove your features. So my these two features already removed, so I press close. Okay viewers, here I check my notification bar. and it show that remove the features and rules and features. Okay, remove. Okay, now I again replace it. So viewers, in this video at first we can we connected with our server with we connected client PC with our server because we have already server but we don't have any client or any users. So at first I try to connect a new server, so I move on the new virtual machine, and you can try to create a new virtual machine, but for learning purpose I already create a virtual machine. I created a virtual machine and it is using the Windows client Windows 10. You can easily make it easily from my video how to you install the Windows 10 in the virtual machine. This video link I give in description. So viewers, I starting my client PC. So my client PC is already starting. So okay, and my server is here. Here my server and here my client. Okay, so I had some time for starting it. So viewers, my client PC is loading. So please wait. Okay, here is my client PC. So I open it. So viewers, my client PC is already open now opening. So at first I need to need some settings for the connect with the server. So at first I open the dating time for setting the time zone properly. So I click on date and time settings. Now I think okay, here my time zone, and I scroll down for the searching my location. My location, I am from Dhaka, Bangladesh. So I select here Bangladesh. It's basically plus 6 hours. So okay, my time zone is UTC plus 6. Okay, I set my time zone setting is done. Okay, now I go to the network settings. So at first I click here CMD run command is ready. So okay, at first I see my network information. So I paste here uh, and I pasting here ncpa dot cpl. Guys, this is the command is ncpa.cpl, and press enter, and it's loading for opening the network panel. Okay, you can see that my network panel is open. So at first I go to properties, and at first I uncheck the IP version 6. Okay, internet for protocol version 6, IP version 6 I make uncheck, and I go to the configure IP version 4. Okay, internet protocol version 4. Okay, open it. There my network configuration panel is open. So I using for the following IP address. Okay, so I right here my giving IP address is on 192 188 sorry 192 168 0 .1.123, because my I using my IP server IP is 2 and my default gateway is 1. So here I using the 3 for server client IP. Okay, I paste on the default gateway, and I think a subnet is already automatically generate. So I place my default gateway. My default gateway is 192.168.0.1. Okay. And guys, here the preparable DNS server. So I write in my DNS server address is my client IP address. So, sorry guys. So I am using here my DNS server IP. DNS server IP at first I using the my client no, not sorry not client. I using the server IP. So my server IP is 192.168.0.2 and my additional DNS is 8080 and 8. Okay. So this I think is done. Okay, is okay. Then I close it and I check my IP. Okay, so now I click on if config. If config, if config and press enter. Okay. Sorry, IP config. Sorry guys. So guys, you can see my network setting is done. So here my IP version 4 address is 192.168.3. My default subnetting mask is 2, 2, 255.255.0. My default gateway is 192.168.1. Okay, so guys, now I go on the firewall off. So I need to write that firewall. Firewall. What's it here? Okay, my firewall setting is open here. So I turn off my firewall. Okay, turn off my firewall setting and press OK. So viewers, my firewall and setting already done. Now I try to configure. Now I ping my. When I close it and I go for computer, opening menu and all the apps. I opening all apps and press down and checking everything. Okay. So now I open my file system. So and I go to this PC. Okay, and I click on right click and paste properties. So in advanced I go on advanced system settings. Okay viewers, I click on computer name and I give a provide a computer name like I accept PC1. Okay, I accept PC1 is my computer name, apply and okay. So I change my computer name now viewers. Now I'm trying to I'm going to the my server is taking some time for loading. Okay viewers, and I go to the server. So guys, my server is loading. So now I work on my client PC and go to CMD again, and I am now ping my server IP. And I try to ping it. but it is not connected because of some issue. So now I resolve it. Yes, it is so basically okay. As you can see, my client PC is the pinging with my server successfully. So now I go to my server and pinging my client PC. Okay. So viewers, now I open my server C and comment puppet and waiting for open it. It takes some time for loading. Okay, what is this? Guys, you can do this type of work in your Windows console, no problem. But now I for easier option, I using it in my command. So now I pinging my own IP. So it's 192.168.0.2. It's my own computer IP. So I now pinging it on server IP. Okay, my server is pinging successfully. Server is pinging successfully. So viewers, now I try to start pinging with my client PC. So my client PC IP address is 192.184.0.3. So the viewers, my client PPC is pinging with my server successfully. So everything okay. It connect with each other. So now I am going to client PC and shut down it for some time. So viewers, now I go to my client PC and join it with my domain. So okay, not shut down, going domain and change the account. So sorry, not here. I going to my file system and right click and go to properties and go to advanced system information. Okay viewers, now here you can see the click on computer name and it's work everything working now in your server. Okay, join the network IP or rename computer or domain, join is domain. Okay, number of the domain. Okay, now here I give my domain address, domain name. My domain name is isaac.com and press enter. It takes some time. Okay, now I write here administrator. And give my password, domain password. Press enter. Okay, it takes some time for loading. Take some time for loading. Okay, let's enjoy it. Sorry viewers, my password shown incorrect, so now I try again. Yes, okay. Administrator. Viewers, so last time I write my password opening my caps lock. Now I open my caps lock and provide my server password. I think now it's working. So please wait some time. it's loading for connecting with server. Okay viewers, now you can see welcome to the isf.com domain. Okay, my computer is already connected with my domain. Okay, now it did need to restart your computer before opening file. So viewers, everything okay done. Now I restart my computer now, client PC. Okay, so I go to client PC register shutdown and open my server. Here now I work on my server and my client PC is restarting. So now I again my server, and now we talk about the Active Directory users and computers. So I now open Active Directory users and computers. So viewers, after connecting with my client PC and server is connect together, now I will go to like about organizational unit and everything. So now I am opening the tools which called Active Directory users and computers. So I click on tools and open Active Directory users and computers. Okay, it's loading for opening. So it's open now. Viewers, it's open. Here you can see my domain. My domain name is ism.com, and here all information built-in computers which here built-in with some built-in domain information, and my computers information. You can see my this computer connected with my domain. Here only one computer is connected with my domain, and my domain controller PC. Domain controller is my running server. Here only one ISF server which is my only domain controller. If I like to connect another domain controller, I just using these features. Okay. So viewers, so basically I work with the users features. So I click on users and click on new. Here viewers I now add on the many thing like computer, contact, group, share folder, everything, users. Okay, many more things. So I like to create on at least I create on the organization unit. Okay, so at first I click on here and click open and click on organization unit. Okay, so I giving my organization using organizational unit name is ISFIT, like it's my company name, like this thing is my company name or everything. Okay viewers, so my organization unit is created. So now I open, click it, and now I open the three type of groups here, because suppose you have a company, you have to the many department like IT, sales, accounts, everything. So I organization unit for the depend my organization. Now I opening some group. So okay, so I click on new and click on group. Okay, so I like to first my first group name is like IT department. So first group for IT department or name is IT department, and is group scope is the global, and security type is secure. Okay, and click OK. Okay, my first one group is create, and click. Here you have the many group in a company, so you can open create them one and more groups. So I create another department, another group for like accounts department. Okay, by another information is okay, and click enter. Sorry viewers, it cannot take full stop. Okay, so my accounts department is creating. Okay, my accounts department or accounts group is created. Now I click on the another group, creating another group like in sales or marketing. So I create new group, sales and marketing department. As this type of the computers for my sales and marketing department is employees. So now I create my group for sales and marketing. So, okay. Here's my sales and marketing department group computer is already ready. So now I open my IT department or any department. Like I work with IT, so I open the IT group. So here's now I create user for viewers. Now my group creation is done. Now I like to create or add employee in my server company or server. So now I click on the new and click on new and select the users. So here my user create interface. So at first I give my username. So I now create user or new create for PC for my IT department employees. So I using name, my computer name is ITPC1. ITPC1. So it's my first word and my login name is ITPC ITPC1. Okay. So I click next. Okay, is on. So now I set my password for my user login. So here the four type of criteria like user must change the password next logon. User cannot change password. So because my company purpose, I can my employee cannot. I like to my employee cannot rights to change password. So I click on second one and uncheck first one. Click on second one and I set my password. Okay, I retype my password and press next. So viewers, my new user ad is I think done. Okay, my one user creation is done. So now I add my users in my department. So now I click on the add to group and write here the ITPC one and check the name. ITPC and check the name for add my users in the group. So viewers, you can see the first user is creating done. So now I like to add my user PC with my IT department group because this employee work under the IT department. So I right click on the PC name, users name. Okay, sorry, users. Right click on it. Add to group. Okay, so I place your IT and check name. IT department. Okay, so now I like to add here. So viewers, the, the add to the group operation is successfully complete. Okay, that means my users is added with the IT department. Okay, now I open IT department and see the member, one member. Okay, Viewers, you can see one member is already added in my IT department. So now I add another one users for IT department. Open right click on the dashboard and click on next, click on new and add users. Yeah, okay. Now I give name IT department, IT PC2. Okay, this for PC2 and my login name is ITPC2. Okay, then press next, and again I using the same criteria for the password and give them the password for the login password for the client. Okay, and press enter and press okay. Viewers, my IT department employees are ready, and now I add on the this user. Now add on the group, so I add on the IT group. Okay, IT department. Okay. Viewers, you can try to add new user and new add on the your another department like sale and marketing department, account department. I now I'm planning purpose. You see I just using see you show you the how to create the organizational unit, how to create a group, and how to create the users. It is basically our server is implemented like a company, multinational company. Here the organization unit means their organization name or some branch name or department name, any other thing. And company has the many type of work, so there are the separate department like accounts, sales, marketing, IT. So and every department has the more lot of employees, so you can create the another PC for the every employee and add here. Okay. So here now I'm checking the our users, checking our PC add or add not. We try to the so viewers now we try to the logging on the our created users for logging in client server client PC. So now viewers I like to open my client PC again and try to log on the new created computers. Okay. So now I we again open the server client is the viewers my client is opening and this opening time we work some another things or I cannot like to waiting sometimes, so now I go to manage and I go to tools for add some for checking everything. Now viewers I like to manage and add new roles like and add on roles and features. Click on roles and features and waiting. Okay viewers, here the my add roles and feature widget is open. The before beginning is same to the previous one. So okay, you write here and installation type. My installation type is the role based installation and paste next. Here because my server information, my server is the ISF server. It is not nothing to check. Okay, my server information, my server is ISF server dot isf.com. Viewers is my server name here, is my server name, it's my domain name and it's my IP address, server IP address. Okay, and press next. Now I like to add the DNS and DHCP. Okay, viewers DNS and DHCP and press next for the install it. So I think it's installed. now should be DHCP configured. So here the DHCP server information, like sorry, DNS server information. Here you can see the domain name system is called DNS, provide the standard method for the according name with the numerical internet address. This makes it possible for the user to repair the network computer by the using through the remember names inside of a long series of the name number. In addition, DNS provide the heritage namespace ensure that the host name will be unique across the local or worldwide area network. Windows DNS services can be integrated with the dynamic host configure protocol DHCP service on the Windows, eliminating to need through DNS record as computer are adding the network. The thing to noted, tasks focus on the DNS server integrated with the Active Directory domain service automatically replicates DNS data and along the another directory service data, making it easier to manage DNS. Active Directory domain service required a DNS server for installing it on the network. If you are installing domain controller, you can also install a DNS roles and page Active Directory domain service. So selecting the directory role service. Okay, it's all about the DNS server. Now I press next for some information of the DHCP server. So here DHCP server means the dynamic host configuration protocol. It allows the server to assign the all these IP address to computers and others devices that are the enabled to the DHCP client. Deploying the DHCP server on the network provide the computer and others IP, I, TCP IP based network device with the valid IP address and the additional configuration parameter. This device need to call the DHCP operation. This is the allow computers and device to connect other network resources such as DNS server, Windows server, and router. Thing to noted, we should be configured the at least one static IP address in our computers. Before you install this server, you should be plan, subnet, and scope and everything. Okay. Okay, viewers, I press next and confirmation. Okay, when it's installing the computer server automatically restarted. Okay, viewers, now I click on install. So viewers, install my computer is installing and my DHCP and DNS server is installing. So it takes some time on the server PC now. So that's why now I am move on my client PC and here my client PC. Okay, viewers. Now you can see the others users. So now I is checking my recent created users. So I click on ICPC true, which I create for the IT department computer true, and I give the password which adding some time ago. Okay, and click on true. Okay, viewers, it's the IT department computer PC true. It's welcoming me. Okay, viewers, you can see that this computer is ready and it is show me everything. It is another computer, so this takes some time for the loading for first time in Windows. What is Windows? So my client computer is take some time. So now I move on my server for its server, and my server is still loading for installing, so nothing to do here, just without for waiting. Viewers, my you can see my client PC is done, so now I open it. Let's start. I move on it. Okay, my client is ready, you can see that. So now I try to ping with this computer, so I go on CMD. Okay viewers, so now I check my IP address, so I write here IP config. I think here using the IP. So my IP address is my client IP, no problem, and just ping it. Ping my server IP on. So I pinging my server IP, connecting with server. To okay, it's connected with my server, so no problem. When I configure the DHCP, it is take the individual IP address, no problem. So now for fast working, I close my server. I close my client PC. So now I shut down it, power off. After I configure DHCP and DNS, then I open my server, open my client for checking. So viewers, I press on shutdown. Okay, shut down my client PC and install. Move on the server. So here my server is ready. So now I talk about something about DHCP and DNS. So basically DHCP and DNS server is most important things for the domain controller and Windows server. It is the basic. If you learn about the DHCP and DNS, you done your server study 80% done, I think so. So it is too much important, that's why I talk it again and again for this. So now I some so viewers are my DHCP and DNS installing done, so it is that's why my server is automatically restarting. So in this time of it, my computer takes some time for restart, so this time I talk about something about DNS. So at first, what is DNS? DNS is domain name system. The domain name system is the hierarchical and the decentralized naming system for the identifying a computer researchable thought the or internet and other internet protocol network. Then the resource record the certain in the DNS according the domain name with the other form of the information. Those are the most commonly used to the map human friendly domain name to the numerical IP address on computers need to local service devices using the underlying network protocols, have have been the extended over time to the perform many other functions as well. So name domain system has been an initial component for the functional for the internet since 1985. Okay, so here, and you can see that my computer is and are restarted again. So it's take a few minutes extra. So now I'd like to talk about something with DHCP. DHCP basically work for the networking IP address. So at first, what is DHCP? DHCP is the dynamic host control protocol, and the DHCP dynamic host control protocol DHCP is the network management protocol used on the network protocol IP for the automatically assign the IP address and the others communication parameter to the device connect to the network using a client server architecture. The technology eliminates the need for the individually configuring the network device manually, and the con- consist consist of the two network components centralized install the network at DHCP server, and the client entrance of the network protocol stack on each computer or device when connected to the network, and the theoretical therefore the client requests a set of the parameters from the DHCP server using the DHCP protocol. DHCP can be implemented on the network ranking in size for the residential network to the large campus area and the regional ISP network. Many routers and regional gateway have been DHCP server capable. Most residential network routers receive the unique IP address within the ISP network within a local network. A DHCP server assigns the local IP address to the each device. DHCP service exist for the networking running Internet Protocol IP version 4 as well as IP version 6. This version is the DHCP protocol is commonly used to the IP version 6. So now I talk about the DHCP history or everything. So overview. Internet Protocol IP define the how come device communicate within and across the local network on the internet. A DHCP server can manage the IP settings for the for the device on the local network. Example that they assigning IP address to those network automatically and dynamically. DHCP operate the based on the client server mode. When the computer or the others device are two-way connected the network, the DHCP client software sent through the DHCP broadcast queries requesting the necessary information. Any DHCP server on the network may service the request. The DHCP server manages a pool of the IP addresses and information about the client configuration parameters, such as net deploy gateway, domain name server, time server on the receiving the DHCP request. The DHCP server may respond with the satisfied information for the each client as configuring administrator. Viewers and as here the my server is restarting, so now I click on the control delete and I give my password. Viewers, my DNS server is open, so I click on my server. My server name is accept Fahad. So I accept server, my server name. So viewers, here I can see the two type of lookup zone here. So at first I like to create a zone or anything. Here the forward lookup zone and backward lookup zone. Here so viewers, at first I click on my server. So here this is my client ISP is my domain name. So I like to create a new host. So I click on the right click on here and I can new host. Okay. So I like to name here the host one, and I provide IP address is like 172 192.186.0.5 4 or 5. Okay, I select zip 4 and create. So you can see that here the DHCP server, UDP server. UDP server is most important for the pinging with any network. So my server, it is very, if you delete this file, you cannot communicate with any other server. So it is very important to note that. Okay, viewers. So viewers, now we can try to create a new lookup zone forward and zone. I can now create a new lookup zone area network. So now I click on forward lookup zone and click on new zone. Okay. So viewers, you can see the welcome the new zone visit. So okay. So here viewers, there are three type of zone. First is the primary zone. Create a copy of the zone that can be uploaded directly on the server. Okay. And next one is the secondary zone. It means the create a copy of the zone in the existing on the server that offer option to help to balance the processing of the load of the primary server and the provide the fault tolerance in the subzone. Subzone is the create a create a copy of the zone content only the name server, state and the authorization as possible host host a record and engine. So the viewers are now I using I try to create a primary zone. Okay. So here are the three options. The first option is all DNS server running the domain controller as a forest isf.com, and all the second one is all DNS server is running on the domain controller this domain. So I click on the second one and give next, and my now this is I need to give a name for my zone. So I write here my zone name is isf. So ISF is my server name, so domain name, everything is ISF. So I try to give different something. So just it is the forward look. So I give here F, FT, FLZ. Okay, and give okay. Viewers, so in dynamic update, it will show the dynamic update. You can satisfy this the DNS zone that accept the secured, the non-secure, the dynamic or updates. First one is the allow all secured dynamic update, recommend the backup directory, allow the both non 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 secure and secure dynamic address. So I click on the second one, okay, and click on next. Okay, viewers, now I like to finish here, and you can see that our new zone is created here, and my new ISF. Here you can see the ISF lookup zone. Okay, not assigned, but I cannot hear assign any IP. So now I like to create a host here. So I is here host I also host to IP address. I give IP address 192.184.0.5. The pointer record will be created. So command this IP address is already created. I save. Okay. So viewers, now I go on the reverse lookup zone. So again I click on the new zone. My new zone interface is opening here. So here everything is okay here, opening the three types. So I describe everything previous time. So now I cannot describe here. Just I go on the following instruction. Okay, I will version 4. network IP. Okay, I give my network IP. Reverse to set to identify the reverse lookup zone. You type of network name of the zone or the reverse lookup zone name. I give the reverse lookup zone name is RLZ. I give my IP 192.0.0. Okay. Then go by give next. Everything okay. So because my forward and lookup zone is ready. Okay, for DNS server. So because my DNS server configure is done, now I go on the DHCP configuration. So I configure the complete the DHCP configuration from here. So here description to following the step to will be performed to the complete the configuration of the DHCP server on the target on the computer. So create the following security bureau for the designation DHCP server administration and DHCP server users. Okay, so now I give the next, and here the authorization is for my domain, so nothing change and just omit it. Omit is omitting done. Now I go on the tools and opening the DHCP. Here you can see my DHCP server, ISF server. So now I like to create a IP version 4 scope. So the first one is my DHCP scope. So now I create on ISF version 4 and click here, right click and the create on the new scope. So here you can see that my new scope interface is open. So give next and name the scope name. I give scope name is scope 1. Description DHCP scope. Okay, then click on next and starting IP. So IP range, you can define the range of the IP address by identifying the set of the consecutive IP address. So enter the range of the IP address in the scope. So first starting IP address, so I click here 192.168.1.0 dot, sorry, 1 dot from 2. Okay, and in the 192.101 dot 4, and its length is 20 and submitting is everything okay. Nothing to do here. Are you the creator super zone? No. Okay, super zone. Okay. For list for the duration, how much time I like to. So list duration. The list duration is satisfied the how long client use the IP address in the scope. The list duration is the should be topically equal to the average time for the computer is the connected with the same physical network. For mobile network is the concept mainly of the portable computer or the dialing up the client or shorter less can be useful. The likewise for the sustainable sustainable network consists mainly desktop computer and physical location and longer list duration. Okay, then I press on next and create a DCP. Okay, so here is the zone for the router. So I did that is spread on IP address for my router. So it is 194.168.1.0 one first one for the router IP, so I click use it and press enter. Or my domain name is dhcp.com, my server name is nothing to need to change. Viewers, my already create is everything okay. So already my zone is everything, my scope visualization is here. My IP address code and everything is shown here, so nothing to do. Here that's all for the today class. We contact our class next few days, after few days. Next class in next class. In next class we discuss about the group policy of the Windows Server. Windows Server system. So no more today. Everyone take fine and better.